from your assessment, definitely from some of the comments we've gotten from voters also, it clearly shows that there is a problem.
Oh, there is a problem.
From your assessment, what do you think is the fundamental problem here? Because if we identify the problem, then we might be able to, we still can rescue the situation now, because we still have about 4 months to the election. It's going to be dangerous if we go into the election with some of these issues that we have on hand. So what clearly is a problem from your own perspective?
I can only speak on the basis of what I know. My training precludes me from guessing. I deal with facts. The facts here are that there is a logistical failure. The facts are that the exercise has not progressed as planned. The facts are citizens are not able to get their cards. My own local government has been suspended from the exercise.
So you have not gotten your card?
They postponed mine. They've postponed that of the deputy governor. They've postponed that of the speaker. So what kind of democratic message does this send to the body politics? And if you know in these parts, the traditional thing, when we are issuing national ID card, well, is to go first to the president or to the governor, as the case may be, and give him his own. The reason they do that is so that leadership inspires others to say, oh, the president, the governor, the speaker, and all of that have gotten their own, all of us must follow suit. So if we can't get, and citizens are saying they can't get, and we are responsible to serve them, really, I am worried. Now, INEC must come out and tell us what its plans are. You see, because even the card that they have now, the process of issuing the cards, some of the things we've heard was that they were using photocopied registers, black and white, where images may not be too clear, to issue cards to people. How do we then verify that the correct people have received these cards? And the ideal thing was that they should have printed color images so that you can tell skin color and skin texture and all of that. So the exercise really, from our papa, all of the hundreds of text messages here.
Interesting.
We've set up a helpline on our website, on Twitter, and on Facebook for people to get there to document their experiences so that we can collect this data and hopefully pass them on.
The challenge is that the hiccups that we're seeing, INEC has come out to say that is not peculiar to Lagos. It's some of the problems that we saw even in the FCT. We saw that happen even under the noses of the headquarters of the commission when they had to extend the date by some days. But with what we have on our hands now, INEC says it's going to extend to Monday, Tuesday, take it case by case as the case may be. But with what we have now, do you think is the solution?
Can I say some things first? I think it's not an acceptable exercise. It's not an acceptable excuse. It's a lame excuse to say that because it happened in one state, we should accept it. It's insulting to us.
In Lagos?
Now,
you mean in Lagos?
Yes, it's insulting to us in Lagos. Perhaps part of the reason is that the person who has, the Honorable Minister, who has the office of the Federal Capital Territory, was not elected. He was appointed. I am elected by people. I owe them a responsibility to stand up and defend their rights.
But when this case
if an unelected person is perhaps, and I won't accept that as a fact, because I would assume that the Honorable Minister too will be agitating about his people. But it's not enough to say because one parent is not concerned about his child, I should not be concerned about mine. It's an insult. I think what INEC must do is to find a solution. I don't have responsibility for doing INEC's job. We have helped, we have supported, we have mobilized people. And you would think that I was INEC chairman with what I have been doing for the last 1 week, trying to ensure that people are not disenfranchised. INEC must tell us what the way forward to this is. You see, because we've seen this over and over again. We're talking about this chairman's first election that was cancelled midway. Let's go through. Is there any elections that they have conducted that people haven't complained? And so over the years, we have blamed Nigerians. They are the ones who snatch ballot paper. They are the ones who steal this. They are the ones who do that. The real heart of the matter is that have we looked at the umpire enough and put them under scrutiny? When last did we see images of people going to snatch ballot paper? When last did we see it? So why are elections going wrong? The umpire must stand up now and do his job. In the last senatorial elections in Niger, I followed those elections, and I think you covered it. And I think on Saturday night, when your coverage finished, you reported that it was a free and fair election. On Sunday morning, INEC suspended the result announcement and claimed that there was violence. Where was the evidence of the violence? And then in one of the candidates, they cancelled results. They did the same thing in Anambra, if you remember. And you see, one does not want to get partisan here, but there's a pattern that is emerging. You take away votes from a particular part, you vote in one part, then later you come and vote to achieve an objective. And from what one is seeing, it suggests that some of these states where INEC is apparently messing up these things, there's another agenda that maybe they want to have isolated elections in places like Lagos, Kano, Rivers, and Ogun. And what will be the basis for that?
All right, let me quickly ask you. If you look at the
danger, if I may, is that if you don't conclude these exercises on time, there are electoral processes, laws as to when the voters' register must be published. Yeah. And then INEC can't present a fait accompli on us and say, oh, because you see, we can't do this.
All right, let's look at 1990, the election that brought in the President Obasanjo, and the 2003 election and the 2007 election before Professor Jega became the INEC chairman. Would you say that there hasn't been any form of improvement in the electoral process?
You see, sir, the question is a matter of how you assess progress and against what resources. So if we give you 84 billion naira or several hundreds of billions of naira every year, and you move us by one inch, and we don't have cards that have biometrics and all of that, we don't have electronic card readers, and Ghana doesn't have the kind of resources that we have. They conducted their elections with electronic card readers that had biometric features so that there was no rigging. And when last did you hear all of this acrimony about voters registration? And if we repeat this exercise, as I told you, my first job as chief of staff when I joined the Lagos state government in 2002 was in the middle of voters registration. They got it wrong. Because what we then had to do was to print about 1 million forms, organize lawyers, notaries, public magistrates, distribute them across the various local governments so that people who had been disenfranchised could go and fill those forms, swear an oath, so that we could collect them. And we've been doing that since 2002, 2006, 2010. Here we are again. We're only 100 and something million people. India, almost 1 billion people have done this successfully.
So you will say,
how do you measure? Are we a nation of very low standards? What is the big deal about getting fingerprints? If you buy an iPhone 6 today, you know it doesn't know you. It's anonymous to you. But once you swipe your finger, it takes your biometrics. You confirm it. So what kind of technology did INEC buy? Did they buy the poor one?
So you are saying that based on the resources available to INEC, INEC has not lived up to expectation?
Clearly, not the resources, but the resources that they have committed to elections as an institution over the last 12, 16 years. I mean, excuse me, we've messed up a national identity card, we are doing it again. I mean, just think, how seriously do we then take ourselves?
All right.
That we can't simply collect our own data, just identify ourselves.
Mr. Governor, just a moment.